What's up, YouTube land? Listen, Facebook done blocked your girl. Okay, so we don't have no Facebook Live, but listen, we still on Endure Entertainment because when we think of clean entertainment, we think of Endure Entertainment. When we think of Endure Entertainment, we want you to think of clean entertainment. This is another edition of Anjanette Speaks, the real, the raw, and the inspiring. Listen, we about to get into it. Now, this is about to be a trigger warning, okay? This is October. This is Domestic Violence Month. We are talking about something really serious, domestic violence. What that looks like. We're going to talk about our experiences. And guess what I got? Oh, y'all ain't going to believe this. I got the fire starter in the building. Listen, if I had the little woo. So she going to co-host with me. We're going to talk about what we're doing. We're going to introduce the subject and we're going to get into it, okay? So I am going to bring in the fire starter and let her introduce herself the way she only can.
Hey, come on now. Yes, I'm in the building.
Hey, welcome to Anjanette Speaks, my sister.
Okay, hold on. My name is Jeneea Moore, also known as the Fire Starter. My job is to ignite.
Come on.
To motivate.
Yeah.
To help stir up the gifts in others. Look, trust me, I can't even help it. That's just what I do. And I am on Anjanette Speaks. Listen, when we tag team, we get it just a little bit louder. I'm loud, she loud. We about to get real crunk today. Talking about domestic violence. Come on with it, sis.
Listen, so October being Domestic Violence Month, and Jeneea and I being the women that we are, we have been on so many different journeys in our life. I thank God for the journey we are on right now, though.
Yes.
Shout out to friends that can push you. Shout out to friends that can see you at your worst and speak life into you. Shout out to your friends that remember the lyrics to the song when you have forgot the words. Okay. Shout out to for divine connection, right?
Yes.
So shout out to divine connection. We're gonna talk about after this, about what we're doing and where you can find us and stuff like that, because I'm horrible at telling y'all to like and subscribe.
So like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe so you can get all into what we're doing on Anjanette Speaks. Okay, we're talking about some real issues. So, Jeneea, tell me about the first time or the worst time that you were in a domestic violence situation, and how did you get out?
All right. Now, I want to start with the first time because sometimes it's good to start from the beginning, right? Because sometimes we find ourselves in, dang, how did I get here type of moment. How did this happen? I said this will never happen to me. That type of stuff. And you be like, dang, how does this start? So before it started with me, it started in the lineage.
Yeah.
Whoa. Did I say something?
Whoa. Yeah, go.
Before it started with me, it started in the lineage. My grandmother dealt with domestic violence. My mother dealt with domestic violence. Family members. So I began to see these traits and these attributes. And I hated how it was with my mother, because I didn't see it when it happened to my grandmother, right? But I saw my mother experiencing these things. And I used to say, I'm never going to act like this. I couldn't understand how, and this is no bash to my mom. My mom was awesome and amazing. Listen, but we're going to give the real today, okay? We're going to talk about how it started. It started with what your eyes and what you see. It starts sometimes in your circumstances. The things that you hate the most is the things you begin to recreate in your life. It becomes familiar to you. You're comfortable with it. So we got to pay attention, and we're talking about those signs and those evidence of these things. So when I got to see it, it's so funny, right? I'll tell you this story real quick. I used to see my grandmother and mother cook for a man. They used to cheat on them, abused them verbally, physically, all this drama happened in the house. So I said, I ain't cooking. Gosh darn it, I'm not cooking for no man. I'm not cooking. Hey, man, you're listening and you ask me to cook you a meal, you almost cursing at me. I don't want you. Okay, I don't care how fine you look. You done upset, you just trigger something in me, right? So that was my way of running from it. Because I'm like, you slaving under the stove and you're submissive and you're doing all these things, but then they're doing all these things that don't add up. So I don't understand that, right? So seeing them fighting, getting things stolen from them, bruises, neighbors seeing the stuff, kids at school talking about, oh, your mama was tugging it up, you know what I'm saying? All this, that stuff is embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. So I said, I won't ever experience it, but I found myself in it. So I'll start with that.
My.
So then, if I could continue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then as elementary, grammar school, I had a fight with a young man. For some reason, he didn't like me, and this older guy took up for me, but he left. He told me to leave. I didn't, because I thought I was cool, but the guy left. And the boy literally fought me like I was a boy. I was a little girl. He fought me like this was no playing. He fought me like he was fighting my brother. That was the first time I got literally beat by a boy as a young girl. I had to been like 8 or 9, something like that. I mean, whoa, out. I could not defend myself against this masculinity, although he was about the same age as me. But he literally manhandled me. Bad. That was my first encounter of physical abuse, and we don't realize that. We have no idea because he was upset that somebody was taking up for me or whatever the case may be. Then leading into that, my next experience, which I thought was the first until I had to really think about it, where did it start though?
Mm-hmm.
Because
where it starts is important.
Where it starts
especially is important. When you're trying to heal and get out of it, or you're already out of it and you're trying to heal, the beginning is important. That's the building block on everything. If you can figure out the beginning of a thing, you can figure out how you can get to the end of a thing.
Absolutely. Where is the root to this? Because once again, it was in the lineage.
Right.
Some things happened before I came. Then it happened while I could see it. Although my mama got out of some physical things, some things was mental and emotional, right? And then I was birthed into this trauma. Then I began to get naturally, in it. Although I didn't want to accept it, but it became evident in my life.
Right.
Why? Because it still was there.
Right.
If that makes sense, right? So the next time, which I thought was originally the first time, was in high school. Not to bash that person. I give respect to him, whatever, we cool, keep it moving though. But in high school, I was in an abusive relationship for about 3 years. Because I only dated one person in high school. We was too grown, too soon. And that was the first person he was ever physically abusive to. It was people after me with him. But I was the first person he was with. And then now I was in the same situation. I was just telling my mom, man, I'm not finna be in it. You need to leave him. And I'm in a situation to the point that I have a broken finger. To this day, it's still not right. A lot of people wouldn't even know that. You probably don't even know that. Because I don't broadcast it on how you wouldn't think that that's there. But that's that physical scar. So you have emotional scars that we still think that people can see. And then it's the physical scars that we still think people can see, but sometimes they don't even notice.
Right. So, so the first time for you was in high school. So going back and tagging on to what you said, I was 3, about 3.5, and my stepfather at the time, I think my mother was arguing or something. They had to be arguing. My mom went to run to the door. She ran to the door, unlocked the door. He backhanded. Wow. She's on the floor. I run out the door to try to get help. The people next door laugh at me. Bust out laughing. I'm trying to explain to them at 3 that
Right.
this man is jumping on my mama,
Right.
and the man laughs at me. Now, at this point, 2 things happen.
Yeah.
I
Talk
went
about.
into mode to be angry and enraged. Okay. And then another thing was I learned how to fight a man. So I come in the house, running in the house. I'm thinking to myself, as a 3-year-old kid, I was probably 3, almost 4. So I'm like, okay, they laughing and this ain't funny. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
I run in the house and my mom is on the floor. He's straddling her. He's choking her. I go to the kitchen and grab a fork. My mom is trying to push him off of her, and I put the fork in her hand. Here.
Right. Right.
And I jump on his back. Get off, mama.
Right.
We fighting. Stick him, mama. Stick him. Get him.
Yeah.
At that, what is that teaching you as a child? Then watch this. Throughout my life as a woman, right, a young lady,
Yes.
there will fight.
Yes.
That I'm always jumping in.
But
Will fight.
let me put a pause for a second. Something that I don't even believe you think that happened at that time too. Ooh,
Go.
you know I'm about to get some bad. Listen, it taught you that you can't seek help. That there's no help for you.
Yep.
You got to do it by yourself.
Wow, you got to do it by
and
yourself.
If I ask,
they're going to
laugh at me. If I ask, they're going to shame me. If I ask, I won't get protection. If I ask, nobody will come to my rescue.
That's right.
If I ask, if I be vulnerable, I hope y'all listen because I ain't just talking to her. If I'm vulnerable,
right.
If I'm weak,
you're not going to protect me.
Who's going to protect me?
Me.
But me. So therefore, now I gotta fight.
Right.
So
here I am, first real relationship, right? Me and him get to arguing, and he's got his own issues, his own trauma that he's dealt with, and we are good friends to this day. But I passed the first lick. I'm used to fighting. We were arguing. He walked up on me like we was finna fight. I started fighting. That's what I'm thinking. That's all I've been doing all my whole life. So I know this. Yeah. Sitting down, talking, communicating. I don't know nothing about that, but I know this. And then it went on from there. But that I know of, I've never heard of him putting his hands on nobody else, not on woman. You know what I mean? But that was because I feel like for me, that was me opening that door and me just being young and feeling like that's what I'm supposed to do, kind of repeating what you see. Right. But when I got older and I got divorced and I felt like God had taken my life and all of this stuff, I got into an abusive relationship. And let me talk to someone that may be watching the replay. That when you are vulnerable, when you are weak, and when you are feeling rejected, that's the last thing you want to do is date. Because what you attract is the very outward of what you are inside.
Yes, that's good.
You attract the anger, you attract the bitterness, you attract all of that. He is you, a mirror of you, whatever's inside of you.
Right.
So as I was sharing with you earlier, the first time I never thought this person would be abusive. I wasn't expecting that. He started off with joking with me and playing. And we would play fight because I'm a tomboy, Right. He would hold me down, I get out. But what he was doing in hindsight was he was testing my strength. He was trying to see how strong I was. And he started like that. Then it started with the yelling. Then it started one day he broke a wine bottle, and held it up to my throat. No. He was drinking some water one day, and we was all playing around and joking around or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cold water. We were drinking water. He took the water and threw it in my face. I was like, whatever, right? And he said,
Right.
shut up, and threw it in my face. Wow. Water went everywhere. Ice cubes
Yeah.
went everywhere.
Yeah. Testing your
Slightly
tolerance.
humiliating. But because I had been abused as a child,
Right.
watched abuse,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Know that
You're
nobody's
part of
going
the
to help me.
relationship.
I'm thinking, okay. And I'm coming to him because I'm trying to learn, hey, I didn't like that. Oh, no, I was just playing.
Right.
Well, that ended up being, he got mad at me, threw some ice cubes. Then he got mad at me another time, broke a bottle and put it up to my neck. Got mad at me another time and hit me in my face. Walked up to me and just punched me in my face. And just thought he was going to keep on punching me in my face. And I caught a case that's dismissed. But I caught a case because I turned around and I hit him with a candle holder. And they called it mutual combat because I was 230 pounds and so was he. But I don't care. That man,
Right. It's a big
and
difference.
I'm a fighter. So this is how they view it, and this is what the police told me. This is not abuse. This is mutual combat.
Wow.
This is not domestic violence. Because you were able to overpower him.
In a
Even
moment.
though your eye is black and all your stuff is red and your stuff is busted up. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You retaliated and
Wow.
I got the charge.
Wow.
Again, no one's there to protect me.
Right. And a lot of people feel that way because that's why sometimes they stay in relationship a little bit too long. That's one of the reasons, right? Because for one, usually they already experienced the trauma. They already know this trauma. This is a part of relationships because this is what I see. This is what I know. I don't know healthy. I don't know true love. I don't know somebody being gentle with me. I don't know those things. I know this. So for me in Chicago, and I'm going to get back to, let me go back then before I mention what I'm used to or what I was, the characteristics that was drawn to me. But you spoke on the levels there's levels to this. And a lot of times, sometimes they don't just haul out and hit you.
Nope, they never do.
Their voice.
They
Sometimes
never do.
Disrespectful to you. Sometimes, those are those flags things because I'm building up your tolerance. Because if you allow me to call you a B or a hoe or a garden tool, if you allow me to isolate you from your family, from your friends, from the things that you want to do, if you allow me to manipulate you to being all about my world and not yours, and then make you feel like you did something wrong to cause this anger to come and be lashed out to you, it's all of training grounds that men do, especially when they're predators, because it's a point of being predators. Now, I pray that someone watches this as far as males and females can be verbally abusive, that they begin to see themselves and say, hey, I want to change this. Because it's absolutely not healthy to physically, mentally, emotionally abuse somebody. But there's levels to this. I'm to the point now, you don't have to yell at me. You don't have to get loud with me. You may have to repeat yourself because I'm a little hard-headed, but you yelling at me? Whoa, hold on. Because I don't operate like that. I don't respond like that. I'm like Ayana, I don't respond to this aggressive behavior. I don't do that anymore. And I had to separate myself from dating anybody for a while till I built me up until I figured that thing out. Because some things have to be severed, they have to be broken off you, or you got to get out of this routine as the rotation there is of men that's aggressive and abusive. So I'm from Chicago. Okay. Now, them men is a masculine, they're aggressive, they're assertive. So I like aggressive males. That's what I came to the reality of it. I like alpha men. I like aggressive
Me
men.
too. I like to feel
Man,
protected.
okay.
I like that temper to be
You know
off
what
the
I'm saying? We can
chain.
get
Yeah.
excited talking about
Oh
that.
yes. Oh
I like
yes.
the whole man.
Oh
You
yes.
feel me? You
Oh
ain't even
yes.
gotta clean it up. Let it go ahead and just be manly. You know,
Oh yes. Oh
I
yes.
enjoy that. I know I digress, right? Okay. But I had to change my verbiage because aggressive men were abusive. Aggressive men was talking to me crazy. Aggressive men was downplaying me or degrading me in such a way that that caused me to not walk in confidence.
Yep.
But what I learned is I like assertive men.
That's
I
a
like
good
a
one.
man that knows who they are. I like men that's still masculine. They're confident in they don't have an identity issue. They don't hate all women. They just got an issue with women. Be careful of those men as well. Now we're talking about men, not just to bash. Once again, females does it too. They can be abusive too and manipulative, but we're talking that because we like men, okay? We date men, we don't date women, right? So we're gonna talk about men today. Amen, right? So like for real, but now I'm like, no, I like men that's assertive, that approach me.
I love yesterday a friend of mine came over to my house and he like I said I respect you and he kind of just went over my head. He was like whatever, he don't even know what that means. But so for me to be right also a very dominant woman, he came over to help me put my bed together.
Okay.
Girl, he's my friend, but I'm like, ooh,
Right.
ooh, Lord. The man just, you know what I'm saying? The man just got
man.
clothes. A man. So
that
he's
comes
like,
in and
hey,
handles
hold
the
it.
need.
Right. He like, hey, hold this. And I'm like, trying to hold it. Right.
Following instructions.
Listen, I'm trying to be the best holder you've ever seen in your entire life. Okay. And I've been knowing this man for years. But I won't, because I grew out of that angry, wanting a man that's this and that or whatever. I want an assertive man. And even if it's my friend, that's a male.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm trying to be the best holder you ever seen.
Yes.
I want to hold. Let me hold this.
Yes.
He didn't order me around or whatever. And I said to myself, dang, I respect him. Because I usually would have been like, well, why you putting it upside down like that? Well, shouldn't it go this way? Well, shouldn't you do this?
And we do that too, women.
Because you're a beta. But baby, when that alpha got to moving around and doing his thing, I was trying to get in line now.
You better sit down and shut up.
Baby, wasn't saying nothing. Is there anything you need, brother? Anything
you need some water, some lemonade? I got some lemons. I can just squeeze it. Okay, come on.
It ain't even no pygmy energy. It's just that he put me in a very feminine place.
Yes.
I did not have to give him instruction and guidance and blah, blah, blah. And that's what we want. And that's what women are looking for. But we confuse men that are aggressive. And I know because when you said, I picked up on the fact that no one was going to protect me. The very thing that I thought about this man when I first met him was he was going to protect me, and he did. Because when we was dating, you bet not say nothing to me. He was going on 10 and gone. Okay? Don't say nothing. My grandma, my mama, my nobody. He like, did nobody protect her? She mine now, and I'm going to protect her. Yeah. But what happened was he couldn't protect me from him. He couldn't redirect me. When I started hitting him, he didn't have no choice but to hit me back.
Right.
He didn't have no choice but to hit me back.
Yeah.
I can admit that. But then it's like, oh, well, y'all, he was abusing you. No, I would say now that I'm grown, we was mutually abusive because then I opened that door. And when I opened that door, he walked right through it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what it's going to take. That's what I understand. This is what it's going to take for you to come in. And and guess what? And men say that too. Like, she don't understand till I cuss her out.
Right.
She don't understand till I slap her. She don't understand till I X, Y, and Z. And that is not healthy. That goes back to if you're not
in a I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
If you are in an abusive relationship, if you are being abused, if you are being financially abused, if you are being choked, hit, anything, I know what it's like not to be able to tell your family.
Yes.
that this is going on, for the shame, for the hurt. Nobody will believe you or
Yeah.
whatever. I understand the confusion because I liken it to having bricks on your feet. I did not leave my son's father. I didn't leave when he hit me in my face. I went to jail. He went to jail. I didn't leave. I left later on, and then guess what? He had to come back to help me take care of our son because our son was sick. And it continued. But what happened is I started to realize my worth in that moment. That man locked me in a closet and pulled a gun on me. By this time, he had locked me in a closet several times, right?
Right.
With
Yeah.
knives and threatening, because at this point, he wanted me to be scared. And I don't have the heart to be scared. I'm too stupid to be scared. I believe if I was scared, he might, you know what I'm saying, might
Yeah.
not have
Yeah.
been so aggressive. But
Right.
because I wasn't scared and I'm going to fight you back,
It was
it,
increased.
it was increasing.
Yeah.
And I was, people like, why you won't leave? Why you won't leave? I'm like, where am I gonna go? What can I do? I'm thinking about all these things. Where I'm gonna take my kids, all this stuff. I felt trapped.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody feels trapped, right? Somebody feels like they can't get out. But what I did was I got very quiet and I prayed, prayed, prayed. And God came in my car one day. He told me everything that man was gonna do. He said, "This is not likened unto death." Because I thought he was gonna kill me. Because he told me if I tried to leave, he was gonna kill me and my children. I prayed about that demon. I put holy oil on. I did everything. That man would not leave us alone. I put my kids in a situation where they were in danger for over a year. We didn't know what was going to happen, what was going to pop off at any time, at any moment. Why? Why? It wasn't as easy. People think it's easy to leave, but it's not.
It's
But what
not.
I did what I needed to do. I saved my money. He got mad and left, and I moved.
And a lot of times that's what happens to be broken. Like some kind of separation got to happen.
Yep.
You have to move drastically. A lot of times we're like, okay, well, let me try to get my clothes. Forget your clothes. Let me try to get my furniture. Forget your furniture. Let me try to get the car. Forget that. Take your child.
Leave with your life.
Leave with your life. You can start over. I don't know how many times I'm gonna start over without abusive relationship. You can start over. You can get everything back, and you probably get more. But leave with whatever you have, because your children's lives depend on it. Your life depends.
Listen.
So many people have stayed. Some people have stay connected with relationships. Why? Because my kids need a father. But how are they? Are they really being a father? Are they really being a mother to those with women being abusive?
Nope.
Is it really a safe environment? And a lot of times I know as a child, I was like, I wish my mom just be by herself.
Right.
A lot of times we want to stay in relationships and stay in connection with people because we think this is best for the kid. And the kid like, no, all I need is you.
That's how my kid was.
That part. But it be something in us that be lonely or emotional or here we go, rejection, neglect, parent issues, daddy issues, mommy issues, all these different things that cause us to get into that.
And I want to debunk something. If you fighting back, you are still being abused. You are defending yourself. Because you fight back does not make you any different than the woman that don't fight back. You are fighting back because you are being attacked.
Right.
Because here, and this is why I'm saying this, because I dumbed it down. He ain't whooping me.
Right.
If I got a black eye, he got a black eye. If I got a busted lip, he got a busted lip.
But it's still a toxic situation.
July the 6th, 2010,
Mm-hmm.
I went to Dallas. I went to this place to let them know that I was lying. Let me put this out here. So domestic violence in Dallas, they'll pay your rent for a couple of months, and I had just had my son. So I was like, I'm gonna go get this rent money.
Yeah.
I'm still not thinking I'm being abused because I'm fighting back.
Mm.
So I'm squaring up. So if you
Mhm.
squaring up with me, I'm squaring up with you, and the police already told me that this is mutual combat,
Right.
then I'm not being abused. I'm not in an abusive
Right.
relationship like all of the rest of them. I'm not being
Right.
beat up. You know what I'm saying? If he come at me, we gonna fight. Period. No.
Mhm.
So we go and we was up for 3 days. Me and the kids. This boy then went on a whole tangent, and he been up for 3 days walking around with the Bible, quoting scriptures, and I talking about how I'm out of line, all this stuff, right? So we've been up for 3 days with this. So I went to their place, and they were like, read this list of about 15 things, right?
Mm.
And if you qualify, then
My.
you know, you in an abusive relationship, right? So I was like, well, you know, I'm thinking to myself, only thing we do is we fight, but we don't fight
Right.
every day. So, you know, I'm like, we don't fight every day. They like, so if you know, you in a physical relationship, you know, does your partner choke you? Does your partner tell you, you know, call you out your name? Does your partner stop you from going to church? You know, isolate you from your friends? Does your partner financially like abuse you, take your debit card or whatever?
Mhm.
Girl, I'm just checking off the list. The only
Wow.
thing he didn't stop me from doing is going to church and going to work.
Wow.
I broke
That's the
down
truth.
crying.
That's the truth.
Me? In an abusive relationship? Me?
Yeah. The tough one.
So the tough one.
The fighter.
The fighter.
Come on.
Me?
Right.
I go in the office, I talk to the lady, and she says, because you fight back doesn't mean that you're not abused.
Mm. Oh no.
I told her, I said, I don't think I'm being abused. Like, I mean, yes, I'm in a domestic situation or whatever,
Right.
but I was ashamed. My pride was hurt. I was like, wait a minute. Like,
Right.
I ain't like this. I'm not scared. Like, you know what I mean? We gonna go at it.
Right.
I got arrested. He did. You know what I mean?
Right.
No. And for those of us, nobody protects the ones of us or doesn't want to. The ones of us that do fight back. But what about the ones that?
Oh no. Oh, she got it. Oh, she
got
liked it. Oh, well, after they fight, they must have passionate sex. That part.
Well, you know how that go. You know the cycle. She gonna go right back to him.
That part.
But sometimes, you know what? Y'all family members don't leave us a choice.
Realize that you're actually that too, but you don't realize that you're actually in this type of situation. So with my kid's father, he didn't work. I worked. He didn't pay nothing. They told me, Jeneea, you pay for everything. Stop paying for tissue. Stop paying for something, right? Because he barely watched my son. He'll leave him with somebody while I work, take the car, and go on and sleep with everybody but me. Sleep with everybody, girl, but me, right? And I'm this good girl going to work, coming home. That's all I was doing. So we fought. He will fight me. Eventually, I will fight back. But then a lot of that, and so because of that, you don't extenuate that to abuse, because I think it's Hollywood on TV.
Right.
And so because it's Hollywood in a sense that it's a constant thing, you think because it didn't happen every night or every now and then, or you defended yourself, or I must have caused it, so you take some blame for it. All these different things that we go through consciously, you like, I remember in high school. Now, everybody at this point know that I'm in this abusive relationship with this dude, right? Mm-hmm. And this young lady was in an abusive relationship with her boyfriend. Mm-hmm. I was ministering to her, praying for her that she gets out of her abusive relationship like mine wasn't abusive. Not even being a hypocrite, because that sounds like a hypocrite. That sounds like a hypocrite. But I thought her stories was worse than my stories. because I knew he loved me. I loved him. I understood his trauma. I understood we was doing too much too soon. He had I ain't gonna tell the business, but he had some things going on that had caused pressure on him, and I must have did this and this and this, all these things. So I kind of accepted it.
Yeah, and made an excuse for it. Yeah. I made allowances. Yeah.
But I'm sitting here like, girl, I just hope you okay. And, if you need anything, let me know. I'm ministering to this girl, hoping she get out of her relationship because it's so toxic. And I'm still can't get rid of this because why? It's in my surrounding.
Yeah.
It's in my environment. I love your family. You love mine. It's been 3 years. Even high school is high school love, right? We doing a lot of things together. We don't confine in anything. You know me. I know you intimately wise, all these different things. And it didn't happen until we graduated that he wasn't in my presence anymore, that I was able to get out of that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. We're talking about high school. I remember sitting in the lunchroom. And I'm going to turn it back over to you. I remember sitting in the lunchroom. I was a senior at this time, sitting around some younger girls. I'm the only senior there, freshmen, sophomores. And I don't know why I came up with a physical abuse. And I said, who at this table been abused? Everybody raised their hand. This is high school. That's when it really hit. I said, dang, I'm a senior. And these girls are freshmen and sophomores talking about they have experienced physical abuse already. We got to break it out of our generation because it's ridiculous. Out of this culture. Because it goes back to slavery. Yep. They get beaten in the field. They come in the house beating their wives and women, not showing love, not saying the word love because they didn't understand it.
Right.
And just this trickling on of effect.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to put a definition for those that are watching and those that are watching the replay so that we know what domestic violence is. And then, domestic violence is the willful intimidation, physical assault, battery, sexual assault, other abusive behavior as part of a systematic pattern of power and control penetrated by one intimate partner against another. It includes physical violence, sexual violence, psychological violence, and emotional abuse. So domestic violence from the partner that you have, that falls under all of that. So let me add something else. You talked about slavery, and so I'm going to piggyback off of that, right? Mm-hmm. So I did a class last year on trauma-informed care, right? And we had to do these series of courses. What I did not know until trauma-informed care is that what your mother went through, you went through as an egg. Her trauma, all her trauma was passed down to you.
Oh, that's good.
All what you went through as a woman,
yes,
was passed down to your children.
Yes.
And and so on and so on. So we've got all this whooping and beating and all this stuff that our ancestors have experienced. We can go back, you can go back to your great grandmother. All the women in my family don't play that. Okay, they just stabbed them, shot them, beat them, all of them. My grandma busted them in the head. That's just what it is. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, all them women being angry, being mad, being, those tough, women, then coming on down, my grandmother, whatever she experienced, my mother was in the womb. She experienced what my grandmother experienced. Then what my grandmother experienced, my mama experienced, and then I come along and have all of that in me.
Yeah.
And then my girls come along and have all of that in them.
Yeah.
And so in order for us to do better, the one thing that I know that is synonymous with abuse is self-esteem. Self-worth.
Yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
do we want to talk about that and blame the victim and say, oh, you ain't got no self-esteem, that's why you're being abused? No. What I want you to do, if you in a relationship that's like that, I want you to seek help. I want you to call this hotline. I want you to call this hotline, and I want you to seek help.
Yes.
Women are 70 more, especially Black and brown women. We are 70% more likely to be murdered. We are trying to leave a relationship.
Wow.
So do not announce you leaving.
Just go.
That's how I got locked up in the closet the first time with the gun to my head. Do not announce that you're leaving. Leave everything.
Amen. Everything.
If you go to the dollar store, get you a toothbrush, a pair of panties, whatever from your kids, stick that stuff in the car. If you got a car, stick it in your purse, whatever, and leave it there. Just a little travel toothbrush and
if you can't get that, don't matter.
Because they pay attention. If he's anything like what he father was like, they pay attention. You can't you can't even move different. They pay attention.
But they made it their business to pay attention.
Right. Because he was like, you trying to leave me? You trying to leave me? God started waking me up at 3:33 in the morning, Jeneea. Wouldn't say nothing. I was going to marry the man.
Amen.
Because he said, I don't want him to take my son. I don't want him to kill my kids. And I don't want to tell my brother. I have a little brother. My little brother, that would have been a rap, and we would have been having a different conversation, okay? Because if I would have told my little brother half of the stuff I'm telling the whole public, my brother would be living. Okay? I might get a phone call right now and be like,
that's why they begin to separate you. Because I got brothers too. I got cousins too. What I'm talking about, alpha men. Okay?
I ain't gonna play that.
Ain't gonna play no games at all.
Ain't gonna play that. My brother said,
if I can isolate you from the sound and the voice of a man in your life, and I can be the dominant sound and voice in your life, you're gonna be afraid. Not only that you're not, and it's not that you're afraid. You're afraid for several reasons. Because if I tell my brother you did this to me, he at your head, and then now he's gonna be in jail. You're gonna be dead. He gonna be in jail. Or vice versa, or whatever, right? And I don't want that blood to be on my hands. I don't want that to be on my conscience. So then that you have that fear.
Let me tell you what my stupid buddy did. So me and my cousin, we grew up together. We were like brothers and sisters. We grew up together. We two sisters' children. So, and this ain't no secret. Like, he'll tell the story himself. So this ain't no secret. So, the first boyfriend I was telling you about that we started fighting, I called my cousin and I'm talking to him because we talk about everything, right? That's what we do. So I'm like, and I was gonna fight him, and he pushed me, and he kicked at me like he was gonna. So my cousin get quiet, like he don't say nothing. I'm like, hello, and I'm like, I'm going off, right? I'm telling him what happened, and I'm thinking I'm telling him what happened. He's like, oh, for real? Okay, y'all work that out, whatever. Man, I think the dude left or something. Anyway, man, so we get back together. This is in 1995. Put a penny in that because that matters. This in 1995. So me and my ex get back together. We washing the car. We doing things together. You know what I'm saying? We trying to rebuild our little relationship. We had a little falling out. We good, right? So my cousin rolls up on me and my ex, not playing no games. My boyfriend has no idea, and I'm thinking, oh,
right.
This is a really huge lesson in not calling your people, right? So it's like, oh, so I'm like, hey, he ready to fight. So I'm like, oh, no, wait a minute. No, like, because we didn't already made up, right? So I'm like, no. So he like, say, man, you put your hands on my cousin. So my boyfriend isn't like scared or nothing. So
Right.
I'm like, no. So then I turn around and tell him, I'm gonna tell your mama, like, stop, like, no. So I
Yeah.
try to push him in the car, whatever. You hear me? 1995. Did you hear me say
Yeah.
1995? Did you hear
Yeah.
me say 1995?
Yeah.
1995. 2022. We still don't have a relationship.
All right, we're
So
gonna build that. But watch this. Let me correct, not necessarily correct something, but let me address something that you said though. This is the reason why you don't call your family. No, this is the reason why when you call your family, you better be absolutely serious. Because
yeah,
if
you
I'm
better
that
be.
type
I was
of
just
thing,
about to say
listen,
that.
I'm that type of person, man. You tell me I'm coming. Okay. You tell me I'm coming. I'm gonna ride with you. But guess what? I can't be in it with you. And if you choose to go back to that situation, I ain't going back into the love of what you're seeing, because there's no love for me, because I'm outside it's seeing it for what it really, really is. So if you do call that, understand there's no going back when you get family involved
That's
in
right.
that situation.
And
No,
that's
absolutely, it ain't no lightweight, because we think it's light sometimes.
right.
It
And
ain't light.
I did. I grew up like this. This is not abnormal. My cousin know we grew up like this. I've been busting dudes' heads. This is what I've been doing since I was 3 years old. Grown men, okay?
Right.
I'm jumping in fights. My mama don't have no fight without me. Right?
Yeah.
So when this happens, you're right. You don't tell them unless it's time to cancel Christmas.
Right.
You don't,
It's time.
but then
Come
check this
get
out.
me. I'm not ever coming back. Type of
And then
thing.
when my cousin started telling other family members, don't listen to nothing she say, because all she gonna do is go back from 1999 to 2010, right? To this recent situation I was in, right? It was like my
Now
brother,
you stained.
huh?
Now you stained.
Yeah, I'm staying. So ain't nobody jumping in nothing, because he said
Right.
from
Right.
when you was 19 years old
Right.
to
Right.
46, he said you was gonna do this. So I
Right.
don't have nothing to do with it.
Right.
Right. So I said that to say, you're right. Let's correct that. If you're gonna tell your family, first of all, what I did is I handled it on my own, because I had a situation where the person that came to rescue died, right? I know of too many situations where you call your cousin, your uncle, and they get killed. You know what I'm saying? The boyfriend is in jail, and it was just a reaction moment. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I personally feel like you shouldn't leave your friend when they're in that situation. Your friend takes 8 times to go back to their abuser before they stop going back. That weigh on your heart, man. Like, you be crying because you don't want your friend to go through this, and your friend think that they gonna change. They ain't gonna cuss them out no more. They ain't gonna, treat
That's
them
absolutely
no
true.
more.
I lost a best friend in high school. I guess she was tired of me going back. And guess what? All I did was isolate me more to the person.
That's what happens. And they tell you things like, see, you ain't got no friends. Where are your friends at?
Yeah, I'm the only
Look
one
at me. I'm
loving.
still here. And where are all your friends? Look, your cousin
Yep,
don't
yep,
even come. Look, your brother ain't come. Look at you. You all by yourself. What
yep.
happens? What do I think about? That man at 3 years old that laughed at me. I got to take care of this on my own. I got to handle this on my own. This is my problem. This ain't their problem. This is my problem.
Yep. Because I got myself in this. I got to get myself out.
No family support, no friend support. And then I always tell people, when your friend call you, and if your friend tell you, girl, so-and-so slapped me the other day, out the blue, just hauled off and slapped me. You're like, dang, please understand that she felt like the slap was enough. You don't need to know that he slapped her, choked her, and dragged her down the hallway in front of the kids, because she don't want to feel judged. So please know that if somebody is talking to you about something, they probably imagine at least 2 times worse than what they telling you it is.
Wow.
She ain't gonna tell you that. She ain't gonna tell you that he hit her. She ain't gonna tell you that. She gonna say he pushed me up against the wall. She ain't gonna tell you he slapped her, he drug her by her hair. He ain't gonna tell you that. Cause what you gonna say? Girl, and you still there? Oh girl.
So let's hit on this. And because as you were saying that, I was just, mind going back there. It's the denial for me. I remember somebody was walking past, a friend of mine, it was a male friend, while my boyfriend at the time had me end up choking me. And I know he saw and walked past. He didn't even say nothing. He kept going, right? Because by then, once again, everybody's kind of hearing about it, but nobody really saw it. But he saw it. Then he ran up on my mom and told her. And I'm like, no. But what's this? I had a scar on my neck. But I was in denial. Oh, he was just, that was nothing. No. He loved me. All that, it was toxic.
My ex used to grab me right here when I was younger, right here. And I used to have his fingerprints on my arm. And I'm light skinned. My grandmother used to lose it. Lose it.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, we were arguing. I walked off and he grabbed my arm. She like, that ain't no grab.
Right.
He holding your arm. He holding you down.
It's amazing how the outsider people can see that. And you're like, man, that was it. I used to have bite marks. Literally. Bite. You can see you could take a print of it in DNA. I used to have bite marks on my arm. I'm like, I ain't that doggone juicy. Okay. I wasn't even big then. I was skinny. I used to have bite marks. But the denial that we be in. Now, once again, I want y'all, as y'all listening to this, we're not glorifying anything. We're telling you our experience because somebody has experienced this. They may be going through it now. You're going through it later. But we made it out of it. Somebody is not here to tell the story.
Right.
I repeat, somebody is not here to tell the story. I have a friend that her mama got out of the relationship, all of a sudden came up missing, and then they found out she was dead and found out her ex-fiance is the one that did it.
And I'm gonna tell y'all,
and here they go.
You disappeared. I'm talking because see what happens is the family like them. The church folk like them. The cousins and sisters, they like them.
Right.
Y'all know this. Y'all seen what happened to Tina Turner, right? You gotta disappear. I changed the route to my job. I changed where I live. Everything. You hear me? I got another car. I was blessed to have a job, right?
Yeah.
I got another car. I did everything. That's why these safe houses are so important. You do know nobody, not your best friend, not nobody, because you don't know who is in your corner when you being abused and they want you to get out of this situation. And you don't know who think, oh, that's Nikki. Like this last situation, everybody was like, oh, they gonna get back together. Oh, that wasn't that bad. No, it was that bad. I left. I don't care. I left. The reason why I left was because it was a repeat of what I've already seen. And I was about to have a flashback. So what I did is I got myself out of that situation. Thank God he's not overly abusive. He's a different kind of abusive, but still I got myself out of that. It's abuse, period. I got myself out of being talked to crazy and all of that. What I'm saying is that when you decide to get your plan together, shut your mouth and don't tell nobody. Disappear. That's the safest way. You got to get off social media. You got to stop. Don't post nothing. You got to do everything. You can't go to your church. You can't do nothing. Get away from them. Make a stand.
Until you're healthy, until you're safe. Now, it's time out for us to minimize abuse.
Right.
We have to stop doing that. Abuse is abuse. Verbal abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, financial, sexual abuse, all those things. They could be aggressive during sex on purpose. That's abuse. That's abuse.
You talking, saying something, he hop and pop you in your mouth. That's abuse. I don't care if blood didn't come out. That's abuse.
And we got to stop minimizing. Oh, well, oh, he pushed you. Oh, okay. You know,
I
oh,
always say this. He
with
didn't
something.
hit me. I always say this. He didn't hit me. He didn't ball up his fist and hit me, but he did this.
Right.
That's minimizing it.
That's minimizing. We got to
Because
stop doing
I'm
that.
going to tell you something. I have friends that have never been abused. They don't know. They wouldn't know what to do if somebody hauled off and hit them.
Mm.
If you hauled off and hit some of my friends, you would never see them again. You would have one time. But because there's abuse tolerated in your life,
Right.
and abuse is tolerated in childhood,
Right.
I got friends that ain't never seen their mama get abused. Don't know nothing about that.
Right.
They got friends of friends that don't know nothing about that. They got cousins that don't know nothing about that. So when you say, he hit you,
right,
he pushed you, he called you a B, he called you a hoe, what? He said you was what? They don't know nothing about it. Oh, they just get, I don't know what I do. Oh, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. He didn't ball up his fist and hit me like I'm.
That's just Tuesday. What you talking
like,
about?
It's just Tuesday. It's like he pushed me. Pushed you? Pushed you how? Why? Oh no. Like they got that down. I ain't never been hit by no man. I don't ever want to be hit by no man. If a man ever raise his voice at me, I'm gone.
Once again, now they know who to do it with. It's the tolerance. It's the building up to. It's the disrespect. I'm going to test you. I'm going to test you, and I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to push it. I'm going to push it and see how far I can go. Because like you said, somebody else will be like, wait a minute, hold on. That's why I say for me now, I'll stay single in my peace. For me now, you can raise your voice to me. You can't be, how you handle me, how you stand next to me is going to tell me everything. I got two males in my family.
I don't even want you to be condescending toward me.
That part.
Don't even be condescending toward me. Like, I have some guy friends that kind of likes me, but I don't like they got little chatty mouth. I don't like mouthy men. I don't like that. And if you can control that, that's great. But don't yell at me. Don't call me out my name. Even though in the past I have been that way, I had to learn. Right? I had to learn not to engage in that type of behavior. So I don't invite that, right? So I don't call you names and expect you not to call me names. I don't push you and don't expect you to push me. I don't do any of that. I have a fine line. Do not raise your voice at me for any freaking reason.
And if you do, it's getting ready to get acknowledged right now.
We're going to acknowledge it. And if you can't change it, that's cool, but you're not going to yell at me. I can't change you, but I can change what happens with me.
Absolutely. And what I will receive and accept. Absolutely.
If you are still in a domestic situation, if you are a man or a woman, I have put this domestic violence hotline out. I know and empathize with you because I have been situations where I can leave. I can't leave tomorrow. Nobody believed I was going to leave. And I was talked about, right? My family members didn't believe that I would leave, didn't believe that it was over, friends didn't believe me, and it's a lonely road, and I get it. I get the isolation, I get it. And if you are a friend, I ain't gonna say what I was just about to say. If you are a friend that has a friend that's in an abusive relationship, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical, please do not leave your friend. Please. Please do not get tired of your friend going through the same thing over and over. Please do not get tired of your friend because you are pushing your friend into the abuser's arms to be more abused. Every friend isn't strong enough to say, no, I have people. When they look around and y'all deserted them because they went back a ninth time or seventh time or third time. You're selfish if you think about you. I can't take if something happens to you, so I'm going to stop talking to you. You're selfish. You're selfish.
That's deep.
I can't bury you, Jeneea. So I'm gonna hang up now and I'm not talking to you. And I'm gonna tell other people not to talk to you because you just gonna work that out and y'all ain't gonna do nothing but get back together. So I'm gonna tell other people not to talk to you, don't call you nothing, and you just pushed her right back. Even if she had the strength to leave, you just pushed her right back. If you got a friend, that don't leave your friend. Even if you like, she gonna go back, but whatever. Okay, right.
For one, don't even think that you messed up. I don't even care. Don't even think it.
Right.
The mere fact that even if it is a repeat offender, right? Because we have been that, or stay in a situation, we have children, or whatever the situation is. Don't even, the fact that you think that is damaging already.
Right.
What I would say to the people, it doesn't mean necessarily you got to be the one to keep going over there.
Right. Don't go.
Right. But keep the door open that she know, that he know, that if they ever need to leave, they can come. That's it. Even if you're not able to communicate as much, even though if whatever that is, nobody's saying physically put yourself in the middle of the relationship, but that'll never work with anybody. Come on now.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Okay. Because they'll be both fighting you, trying to get at each other.
Yeah.
But what you can do is say, hey, I'm here when you come out of that. I'm here. I'm available to you. I'm not going to shut my door. I'm not going to shut my heart. I'm not going to shut my ears. If the phone ring at any time, wherever you are, I am coming. So they can know at least one person loves them enough to cover them in their nakedness. Because at that point, you're naked. That point, you're vulnerable. You're exposed. You're broke down to, you can't even think straight for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you have children, it's even harder.
Yeah. So thank you for being there for me. Thank you for being my safe place. Thank you for I'll come. I'll what?
Man,
we going. We going. Do I need what's going on? Jeneea, listen. What? Because ain't nobody called me. Right. Okay.
Right. All right, but bump all that stuff. What we about to do? But what we about to do? But what we about to do though?
What's the plan?
I heard what happened, but what we about to do?
What's the plan?
How we moving forward?
What's the plan?
Okay, you see that? How we moving forward?
How we moving forward? Don't leave your phone.
Not how you moving forward, because you can't do it.
What are you gonna do? Well. I mean, what are you gonna do? Well, how is that gonna work? So, are you gonna do this or are you gonna do that? I'm just trying to figure out what you're gonna do.
Mm-mm.
Like my girlfriend told me that this guy called herself her best friend, right? And so she got into it with her husband, and she asked, could her and the kids come over there? He told her, don't come over here with that mess. Don't come over here with that mess.
Right.
She didn't want to stay for a day. She didn't want to stay for 3 weeks. She wanted to stay for one night just to get out the situation so that him and her wouldn't be arguing. You want to know who your circle is? Have a crisis. People get real silent in a crisis. I'm telling you.
Yes.
I'm telling you. That silence is loud.
They be like, I said you can call me, but don't really call though.
Don't call. Because I don't want to be in the middle of it.
Right.
Because I don't want to
I'm in the middle.
Put myself in danger. That's your situation.
Yeah. So in other words, there's a hotline down here that if you cannot be the resource that they need, provide the resource that they need.
Period.
But don't leave them out there to dry.
This is just our experience. We are not psychologists. We are not
We are life coaches, though. I am.
I will say that. You know what? I'm gonna go get my license
Come
because
on now, listen.
I
Come
think
on, we're
that's
gonna get the certificate on the wall, baby. Listen.
come
Don't
on.
get it
I need
twisted.
something on the wall because I
I'm
got
just
way too much experience, and I
always
realized I do not want to study. I need a degree so bad. I'm like, can somebody just give me an honorary degree?
like
Ain't
all
somebody
this
passing out? I ain't got life experience
experience.
enough for an honorary degree. My God. So listen, 1-800-799-7233. If you know a friend, if you have a friend, get you. Let me tell you something else to do. If you know that you have a friend that's in your corner, for sure, don't like him, ain't gonna talk to him. He bet not call her.
Right.
Him. Get your kids' clothes and take them over to her house slowly.
Right.
Drop them off.
Yeah. Drop off a bag.
Drop off a bag. Yo, I gotta go bag.
Yeah.
Send your friend if you have friends. I don't know. I've been blessed, honey, because I got a sister in Dallas. I don't tell her nothing because I believe she crazy. My big sister, that I don't tell her nothing. I tell her when it's over. Okay.
You're right.
Done. Because I believe she crazy. But if
Yeah.
I want to send some money to you, to her, find you gotta realize who your friends are.
Yeah.
So that you can get yourself together to get out of the situation. Men are being walked up to, men are being slapped, men are being bit, men are being punched. You do not have to put up with that. You do not have to stay there. You can do exactly what women do. Take pictures, do a restraining order, get away from her. Get your kids away from her.
Yes.
You do not have to. This is not a gender thing because I'm a woman, but I know men that have been abused, been slapped, been hit, been upside, fought, literally fought.
Yeah.
Black eyes busted lips, the kids seeing this. Big strapping men. And they don't want to hit her back because he don't want to hurt her.
Well, he going to jail.
He's going to jail.
Yeah.
And that's what she's saying. You see how big I am? Ain't nobody gonna believe that I'm beating you up. Ain't nobody gonna believe that.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you now, this is the number. Get you a bag, get you a to-go bag, and take it to a friend's house you can trust. And y'all know deep down who you can trust and who gonna call you and your man and be like, hey, so she dropped the bag up over here. Taking her and the kids.
Come on.
Who them people is. Don't be telling your family members if they'll still let him in your house, in their house. They'll still let him eat with them. Don't be, Do you know? Disappear. Go off the grid. Rebuild your life. And work on you and the inner you and loving who you are. You are valuable. You may not believe it now because that person that told you you wasn't, or you making too many mistakes, or you don't do nothing right, and all this stuff, and everything you do ain't right. You can't wash dishes right. You can't sweep right. You can't do nothing right. You don't have your if you're fat, you're too big. You lose weight, you're too skinny.
Yeah.
You're too dark skinned. You're too light skinned. He don't even fool with dark skinned women, and you light skinned. He don't even fool with light skinned women.
Wow, come on now.
All this that they come up
with manipulation.
All that is manipulation because they're insecure and they don't like themselves. And what they're doing is projecting it onto you. They're predators. They're broken.
That's it.
Prayer is one thing, right? But they usually don't stop because they in church. They hide behind your forgiveness and they abuse your religious beliefs and they abuse them and use them against you.
Wow.
Slap you upside your head, beat your kids, molest your children, turn around and ask you to forgive them.
Yep. And then do it all over again in rotation.
Then do it all over again. And ain't no help. Ain't nobody to reach out to. So I'm really passionate about this. I did good, Jeneea. I did not cry. I almost did a little bit. I got myself together. Listen.
It takes these conversations, though. It really does.
We need to have them. I'm the one. I'm finna go head first in the conversation that don't nobody want to have because it needs to be addressed. And we need to understand like the system, how the system is set up, for domestic violence. Because when I was with my son's father, I'm a little bit over time, but I couldn't get because I let him move in my house. Watch this. I let him move in my apartment, and he got one piece of mail at my house. One.
Yep. That's it. He's a resident.
That's it. He's a resident.
Yep.
You got to leave your own house.
Yep.
So listen, I want you to do the things that we told you to do. Just know you're not alone. You are not alone. Please, 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 please take advantage of the number. Get educated on what domestic violence is and set your boundaries. Don't let nobody abuse you. Start loving you, because if we love us and heal from that trauma, we're not going to accept it. We're not going to tolerate it.
No.
I love y'all. Listen, where can we find you? Firestarter Jeneea Moore. You better tell us about it.
Y'all can check me out on Facebook, Jeneea Moore, the Saved Over Success. That is a page as well. Get connected. Hey,
get connected.
Something going on, you want the Firestarter to come through, get connected. But definitely share, click like, tag a few people. Get ready for next week with Anjanette Speaks, because it's going down.
Listen, you can find me on Instagram at I am Anjanette Speaks. No, it's Anjanette Speaks. On Instagram, on Facebook, it's Anjanette Speaks. And it's on Indoor Entertainment. Listen, type it in, Indoor Entertainment. And then on Facebook, like it. And then on YouTube, subscribe. Because that's where all the meat is at right there. That's where all the meat be at. That's where you can catch everybody that's on you, that's on the Indoor Entertainment. Thank you for Indoor Entertainment for allowing us to be on your broadcast on today. Thank you so much, Indoor Entertainment. Y'all, I got the best boss in the world.
Come on now.
Yes, for Miss Falana Wilson, she's the best. When you think of Indoor Entertainment, think of clean entertainment. When you think of clean entertainment, think of Indoor Entertainment. This has been another edition of Anjanette Speaks, the real, the raw, and the inspiring. All right.
Love it.
All right.
Have a good day, you guys.
Have a good day.